Expansion 1, pages 26 and 27. Reading.
Popular sports.
Soccer. Soccer has been played for thousands of years throughout history by various civilizations. In 2500 BC, the Chinese played a form of the game and called it Tsu Chu. One story tells of a brave village in England defeating a Roman team and running them out of town in 217 AD. The natives of the Pacific Islands played the game using their hands and feet, and they used coconuts and pig bladders as balls. The Eskimos played soccer on ice and used balls filled with caribou hair and grass. In North America, Indians played on beaches with fields that had enough space for 1,000 players to be playing at the same time, and the match usually lasted for more than one day. The games were so rough that the players often got broken bones. In Mexico and Central America, they invented the rubber ball, and the people played in courts 40 to 50 feet, 12 to 15 meters long, surrounded by vertical walls several feet high. In the middle of each wall there was a stone with a hole in the middle or a wooden ring, and the idea was for players to project the hard rubber ball through the ring. But it was not until 1863 in England that the first set of rules was put together to make the game like it is today. Soccer was spread throughout the world by British sailors and settlers, and all major innovations in the game, such as leagues, professionalism, and international matches, were English.
Basketball. In 1891, Dr. James A. Naismith, a teacher at the YMCA school in Springfield, Massachusetts, in the U.S., was asked to create a game that could be played indoors during the hard winters. Students were tired of staying inside, and they looked forward to any sporting activity. So Naismith put up 2 peach baskets on opposite walls and got his class of 18 students to play a game of basketball. The team that dropped the ball into the basket more times would win. At first, a soccer ball was used, but in 1894, it was decided that the ball should be 81 centimeters around and weigh 500 grams. In spite of all the changes that have taken place since then, the size of the ball has remained the same, but the weight increased to 600 grams. The baskets used in early games had the bottoms in them, and after each goal someone had to climb a ladder in order to get the ball out. In 1906, open baskets were introduced, which allowed the ball to pass through, and as a result the game became faster. In the beginning, no backboards were used either. Therefore, fans sitting in the balcony behind the basket would push away the ball when the opponent was going to score. Also, in the early days, each team was made up of 9 players. It wasn't until 1897 that the 5-player team became official.
Baseball. Baseball originated from cricket and an Old English game called rounders. Children in Boston during colonial times used to play it using 4 bases and a batter's box. One legend said that Abner Doubleday was the person who, in 1839 in Cooperstown, New York, developed the game played on the diamond-shaped field with 4 bases and named the game baseball. Although Doubleday had been given credit for his invention, baseball historians say it was Alexander Cartwright and his friends that devised the new game in 1845. It was called the Knickerbocker game or the New York game, and it differed in several respects from what we now know as baseball. For instance, they caught the ball barehanded, but fortunately the ball was a lot lighter than the one used today. It was slightly larger and very bouncy because it contained a core of Indian rubber. There was no umpire saying whether a pitch was a ball or a strike. The batter could just stand at home plate and wait all day if he had to, until he got a pitch he wanted to swing at. Also, while today a ball has to be caught before it hits the ground in order to be considered an out, a ball caught on the first bounce was considered an out in the Knickerbocker game.